Well, let's go here. Got another 9-player going, and I've got to wait and see if the 27-player loads or how long it takes. There's only 3 people in right now, so it might be a little while. I'm mostly preventing myself from going to higher levels right now, like $5 tournaments. I need to build a little bit more of a bankroll before I do that. I have to be able to win at this level before I can move on to the next. I think personally that's a better way to go. Means that you know how to grind and how to build. I will fold and I will get a fizzy water. I was happy that I took some small wins earlier. Wasn't super happy with the 4th place when that guy raised aces. I mean, it's choosing your spot, and I was already just so short. It's one of those things where in hindsight, you're like, oh, should I have just folded and waited? And if you can manage to be aggressive at the final table, it really helps. But I find it difficult. I also had massive issues with Bovada for some reason. I had to clean my cache and do a bunch of other stuff. Couldn't get anything to load. It was like giving me problems. But it started working, so. Big me, little me. Debating if they limp, if I want to raise this. I think I just want to see a flop. One in 10 with an ace and queen on board. I would like to see the. Do I want to see the king of clubs? Maybe. Maybe. I'll call 20. Now I got an open-ended, could be any 8. Let me bet again. The flush draw is less likely unless he's going for diamonds. I have a complete air ball now because I can't bluff the 3, or at least I'm not going to. What's the story I told? That I have a weak hand and he should bet. And since I have a complete air ball, I will fold. Now, this is a raise, and it's a raise after several limps. I could go different directions with this. I'm inclined to jam. I don't like playing ace king out of position, and I figure I'm about to lose $1 if I lose, or I'm about to take a big pot off a guy. This is one of the positions that I will jam, depending on what's going on at the board. One of the best recently was raising an early position with aces, and a guy just jammed his AK suited. So I just took a few chips, which pays for what I'm about to do, which is probably raise this and then not hit the flop. But if my 6 hits the flop, oh, it's nice. Oh, it's super nice. Oh, he decided he would re-raise. It'll be 100 more, sir. Well, why not? So did your re-raise constitute that, or are you gonna jam it and tell me you got kings or aces? You're gonna re-raise, or are you afraid that it's on a draw heavy board? And what do I have to defend? I mean, I did call, but what do I have to defend? I mean, what am I hoping will be the outcome? The problem is, if I eventually have to show my cards, I have to have cards that win. Like, bluffing is all great if you can get the guy to fold. But if you've got a guy who refuses to fold, which is very common at these tables, then it's much more challenging. Excuse me. I'm going to leave the 27 player going. I'm going to register for another dollar tournament so I can get 2 going at the same time, because these are probably going to take a while. But I'd like to have at least 2 at a time going if I can. I think that's a little more time efficient. Also, with, you won, was it $9 earlier or something? If I win $9 and lose 3, it's like, oh, you're still up $6. It's that sort of thing. It also makes it easier for me to test the edges of the game, because I'm not worried about losing money. I'm not worried that I'm gonna, go broke doing this at this level. Oh, let's get ready to rumble. Another 9-player tournament. I think that is it. Fold. All right, there we go. And then if I'm over here, kind of go back. Yes, no, this is interesting. Check this out. What happened here? Little beginning hyper aggression here. I got it. It's mine. Taking it down. I'm really anxious to get a lot of goof ups. I prefer the ones where I don't lose money, but seeing people just do dumb stuff at the table is completely hysterical to me, including what technically would be called a bad beat, like some guy who statistically breaks the odds and cracks your hand. I mean, I think this is pretty loose. It just started, but let me raise. Maybe I get some folds and some action, but we'll see. Not the board I was hoping for. However, if you fold to me, I will let it go. Oh, a check. Nice. Let me bet that. Oh, flat call. Go you. Said you have the jack. Do I look like a man who's beaten by jacks? Okay, I will check again. I have a complete ace-high airball. I have no idea what's going on here. He says he's got it, and I am inclined to believe he at least has something better than I do. No fear at this table. I've noticed for some reason that I tend to play better in the morning, and I'm not exactly sure why. Because I'm not a morning person, but I literally will get up in the morning, make coffee, sit down, and start grinding like first thing. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. So I raise and I get 1, 2, 3, 4 callers on this board. I have no idea what's going on. I am not ready to bet on much of this. And that will be a massive check. This was not my hand for sure. Should I jam here? Lot of action. Lot of action. King 3 first position on the other table. No, I will not. I will fold. I'm trying to think of like what are my least favorite situations. I think are just being blinded away because you just don't have anything. You have a tournament where it's just completely dry. You're dealt like a pair of kings one time and everybody folded and that's it. I will fold. I do not want to sit there. Ugh. Oh man. Work, 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 work. Go to the other table where there's amazing action. It's only 60, why not? Let's put ourselves in danger, raising an early position with a suited weak ace that doesn't even have straight potential. It's not even ace 5. Ace 5 to ace deuce has a little more of an edge, especially when suited. Flush draws and potential straights. Let's see, other table, we are going to fold because there's nothing there. And here, this is questionable. I got no straight draws. Would a 10 fall? And would the 10 give him, would he raise ace king? Or called ace king, I should say. I'm gonna check this, which I just did it on my own. So would I want to call back for 150? Nah, I'm gonna fold. Again, I'm just not in a position of aggression. Oh, if he had his queen too, and he wants to let me know that I was beaten. Had conversations with colleagues earlier about some various things, working on stuff. Looks like we might have a time of size jam going in Houston sometime soon. I'm pretty excited to hear that that might be the case. I'm going to fold here. That guy just wanted to show me what he had. He wanted me to know. It is not strong enough for me to call. I will fold. And on the other table, this guy took a huge pot with a 2 and a 4. You didn't see it, but this guy just called something like queen and an 8, took a pot. Maybe he just likes loose holdings like that. Him. This guy right there. Him. This guy. What is he doing? Oh, a limp. Solid move. Now, I don't particularly like this, but I think he raises or limps weak. I'm going to raise out of position and see if I can isolate this one. Oh, nice. Yeah, some action. Oh, all right. Oh, nice. So does he have it, or was he lying? Now, I'm more inclined to think that he does not, but I don't want to risk 220 chips finding out. He could be on a flush draw with clubs. I don't know about that. I assume I'm beaten, but I'll let it go. Ace queen. Aha, he let me know. He let me know what a gangster he is. That's right, a re-raise. Okay, now what do I want to do here? I'm gonna fold even though I'm on the button. I don't like that. Over here, I got a limp. I'm going to raise back over here. But I could have drawn a king. Oh, well, yeah, but this guy's ready to go to town on somebody. Let's see what happens. All right, let's go back here real quick. I am going to call that in position. And over here, I am going to bet half the pot and see if they fold. If they do not, then we have deeper seated issues, which fortunately they didn't fight me. So I am likely to assume that this guy has a complete airball. However, I do not like this. I don't know what this is, but I do not feel comfortable in this hand for essentially the rest of my stack. I do not feel comfortable there either. I need to figure out percentages on overs. Over pairs. That will be a massive fold. This will also be a massive fold. And I hate losing $1, but I'll do it if I got it. The game requires some investment. And this isn't, I would say, as bad as play money, but oof, it's not much better. I mean, statistics of poker still apply, but when if a guy had rent money down, he'd play different. Let's put it that way. I've seen some draws where I'm like, if that was mortgage money, I don't think he'd play that way. I will not be playing this. I don't love King 10, but I am going to raise. We'll see if I get any callers. Somebody is asking me business questions via text, which I shall come in and see if I can answer. All right, so we had a re-raise, and here's the deal. Is it worth 100 more? Do I think the guy after me is going to jam? No, I will go ahead and call. We see what happens. I suspect this will be a massive let go for me. And what do I do with this board? Because I ain't doing anything to bet it. What do I want to do? What do y'all want to do, guys? Y'all want to call? You think you can beat the odds? No. There we go. Oh, the queens, man. Woof, that was brutal. That was mean. I didn't know what was going on at that table. Woof, that was mean. No, hold. I started getting itchy, man. Bovada wouldn't load. I'm like, what? I gotta get my poker fix. It's like, man, you need to calm down. Robert, Robert, do we need to have a conversation? Are you developing a problem? It's like, no, I like to play poker for $1. If I was gambling with rent money, it would be different. And those queens, I'd like to see that hand again. That was pretty ugly. Oh yes, right out with the aggression over here. I don't think this is worth any fight to me. Going over a big stack and then going up against this guy. Speak again. It's one of those you're like, oh, but if I would have, I'm like, yeah, but you're raising 10-8 offsuit on the button. Uh-oh, and now the guy had Jack 7 and you're dead. This table, I'm gonna fold this. I'm out of position after the flop. Though if they fold around to me, I may raise this. I'm not super excited about it, but I got to make some moves here soon. I got a limp. No, I'm gonna let it go. You see how it changed just on that little bit of behavior from him? That stuff will happen from time to time. I wouldn't say necessarily on my end it's like intuition. It's more just like a feeling of what's going on. Do I want to take on the stress and strain of trying to figure this out after the flop? Well, but I would have had a queen, or the guy's got queen 4, where he has demonstrated potential to play queen 8. Yes, there you go. If it folds around to me, I'll raise. It does not fold around to me because I got some limper. I'm gonna let it go. The bet is information. It's incomplete information, but it is information. I'm gonna limp here and in prayer that I catch some miracle 2-4-5 flop. Oh, now he turns on the aggression to show you who the boss is. He's not gonna let you limp into his putt. And you'll notice he did it in position. They love this. So I'm gonna check here because all I got is a 3. So I have bottom pair, a backdoor flush draw. Okay, I'm gonna call. I wanna see what the next card is. Okay, I'm not super happy about that 7. Let's see what he does. Because he's gonna bet again. I don't have anything on that board but the 3. I'm gonna let this go. I want to take that guy down. I do not want to call with Jack 10 suited for that. Because I'm getting short over here. I'm gonna have to go all in soon if something doesn't change. But I would have had a jack, but there's still an ace on board. The stories we tell with our play. What was the story that you told from the beginning of the hand to the end? What was the story? And I would like to see a flop with this. I will check. This is not the flop I hoped for. I will check again. I will fold. I will also fold. This is the excitement you guys came for. Fold. Fold, fold, fold. It's like David and Goliath over here. He's just flashing his fives to let everyone know that he plays trash. All right, cool. Trash that he is apparently willing to bet on. Way after the flop. I don't think that's strong enough to really do anything with. If one of these goes out, if I bust out, I may sign it for another 27 player. The $2 is running as well. Ooh, we actually have a hand on the button over here. Oh, nice, nice. Mr. I have no idea what I have. Does he have an ace? So I'm gonna take a risk here, and this may be one of the dumbest things I've ever done, but we're gonna document this for posterity. And they let it go. Fear me. Now, King 10, I might have played the same way. I felt more comfortable with King Jack or maybe King Queen. That guy's playing is so loose with that 2 times the big blind. I was like, he's either got it or he'll let it go. Was my guess. And I chose correctly. Queen and a 2, I will fold. Okay, now, first position. I'm tired. Let's do this. No! I'm going to raise here. I'm not super excited about that, but we'll let it do its thing. You know, how do I feel about busting out with that 10? It's like, how was I going to play that ace king after the flop? Uh-oh. A mean call. A mean call. Now that is a scary board. And if he does not have an ace, does he want to call? And what do I see right here? What am I going to get? I am going to take another risk. And you know what? We can buy into another dollar tournament. Because they will call with any weak ace. He could have a jack. Aha. Oh, another ace. Just let him know that's what I had. Okay, so I am actually going to change this up. I do not believe I have that, so I will fold. I will close that. I will, how do I do this? Root. There we go. I will fold. Man, Bovada's software is so weird. It's a little clunky sometimes. So I might have to add another scene in here in a second. We'll see what happens. I was trying to unregister for one tournament, but that's what I mean about Bovada's software. It's like not letting me get out of the other tournament. It literally doesn't have a button for me to get out of the tournament. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll play it anyway, but just interesting. So let's go on back. Here we go. Not good enough. Who's messaging me? And we have another tournament. Let's move this over here. And we're gonna fold over here. And we're gonna go over here and see if it allows me to change this. I think it's that one. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. And I assume this is the 27 player. It is. However, the dollar player is still not letting me out, so I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's gamble. So nice when you get something you can actually play with. Now, again, I'm in the small blind. I don't do this all the time, but I got two pretty big stacks, and I got another big stack just got involved. I'm jamming this. If I lose, just like that ace 10, I lose. But that's how we roll. Aha. Now, I am going to raise here, though I do not think it is going to be a massive raise. In middle position, I'm not super excited. That's good enough. I'm going to bet 3/4 of the pot. Pray he did not call with King 10. And he let it go. Putting on my reading glasses, looking very studious. Yeah, that ace 10 to ace king, that's just one of those things that happens. Not only do I not think there's a way to prevent it, I mean, I don't know. That's just variance, right? I even like saying the word variance because it removes that notion of like luck. Good players, long term, I will win statistically. Statistically, that will hold up. Now, here's a problem. I raise, this guy says, hey, no. Now, do I want to call with almost the rest of my stack just because I got an ace? The answer in my case is no, I'm going to let it go. I don't like that fold. That was a lot of chips at this stage, but I don't know what's going on over there. Now, back at it again, not this time. He could have had any too high pair. He could have had AK. He could have had queens. Could have. He might have had a pair of twos for all I know. Look at this. Leading out. Man, so what do I do in this situation? Like I'm getting short. I don't like that ace. I just don't think it's strong enough. Especially after that guy jammed. Like I'm feeling kind of I don't know. I'm not getting my feet under me. I don't have anything I can push back with after the flop. At least not so far. My suspicion is that the 9-player tournament is going to be over very soon, and then I'll just focus on the 227 players that I'm in. And it's also nice that I've won enough recently that I'm playing off of my winnings. So it just feels like bonus money, if that makes sense. If I ever started grinding for large amounts, it'd be interesting. A jam. Man, you know what? I may have been good earlier. I don't know. Another jam? I mean, he could have it, but okay, he had queens that time. He flashed. Fold, fold, fold. This is the excitement you get here on Robert Gardner Wellness. Yes, yes. All this fold action. Oh, but I would have had a queen. I could hit a 4. Uh-oh. Oh, I think somebody might have hit trips or 2 pair. That's my guess based on that board. They could be bluffing, saying they had a straight, but maybe flush draw with spades. However, he did not take it. Fold. Oh, this is the excitement you come to expect. Look at this board. I mean, look at all this. A lot of action. A lot of action. All your hopes go boom. And look at this brick wall this guy just hit. Look at this. You ain't getting past queen 5. No, I got this. This is mine. Take this down. But I would have had a jack. You can hear the sadness in my voice every time. I will admit, I played on Poker Stars for Play Money. And on Poker Stars, I was getting creamed, man. I was like, dude, this is Play Money. Why can't I? They're not any good. Why can't I beat them? And it's just because they call any 2 cards out of position and it's Play Money. They can even just go in and, it just makes sense, buy more Play Money. Like, they'll just give more Play Money chips because they put money in. It's crazy. So anyway, I won 2 tournaments in a row by literally limping every hand. Almost every hand. Limp. Doesn't matter if I got aces. Doesn't matter if I have queens. And here's what I did. I practiced reading the board. What's on the board and do I think I'm ahead? I limped. I know I limped. I know what I'm holding. What do I think I have? They saw me limp. That's the information that they got. They saw me limp. Am I ahead? Because as a tag player, tight aggressive, I'm not as good, not quite as good, at after the flop play. That's one of the things that Lex Velduis has helped so much with, is it's making me look at the storytelling, the narrative that goes along with the betting that was going on. If you bet pre-flop, you're saying I have something. Make sense? If you follow it up with a continuation bet, says you have something. If a guy did not hit, he might have a hard time calling unless he really thinks you're just making it up. You're bluffing. Now, he has a huge stack. He's probably hoping I'm about to jam, and he's about to get his wish when he calls with queen, queen. But, I could have had a straight draw on a rainbow board. If I was only so smart as to call with 4 or 5 offsuit. But I would have had a... No, flush draw. I couldn't get a flush. No, because I only have a 5. 2 and a 6. Hyper aggression, jam. And I could, but I'm not. Oh yeah. If he folds to me, I'm gonna jam. If he raises, I might let this go, but against them, that's going all in. This is particularly hard to play. 10-10 is a problematic hand, as I think is Jack-Jack. I've noticed recently that I'm not seeing as much action with 10-10 and Jack-Jack. It does happen, but I'm not seeing a lot of craziness with it. If you raise with a pair of 10s or jacks and you hit a third, it's awesome, because it's hard for people to see. But you're only going to hit that at the turn, not the turn. You're only going to hit at the flop again, 1 and 8. I shall fold. Oh, but look, guys, if I had just, I would have the ass end of a straight draw where this guy has 9 and 10. Not that I have ever lost that way. I would never bet the ass end of a straight. Oh, sure. Okay, bro. All right. Don't like what I call for 400 with a jack. No, I am not. I would rather retain my chips and go for a better situation, which did not include having 7-3 suited. And a jam. Oh, let's see what happens over here. I'm folding 6-8 suited at the other table. in middle, early position, I would say. Not what I'm looking for. There are only paying the top three spots on the 9 player table, which is not this one. This is the multi table $2. They're only playing for 3 spots. So when you get down to the bubblish kind of thing, people get a little nervous. They get a little more conservative in their play sometimes. You can really take advantage of it if you're getting decent holdings. I'm not sure what's going on here. It has a little heart. I like a little solidity to the bet there. It's a little bit of a taunt. With only 3 big blinds left, I have to choose something. I'm willing to go through another cycle if I need to, but I really need to make some sort of move. I'm just being blinded away. And see, this 2 times the big blind stuff, it gets murky to me at what point that's a good idea. This is the sort of stuff I love being on the big blind and calling that with. Especially against 4 or 5 people and I hit 3 of a kind. That's nice. And that is not the hand we go out on. And over here, a re-raise from this is a longer tournament. It's for $2. I'm going to fold. I want to call because I want to hit my jackpot 4. But if I do not, and I have that board, what do I do? Now, when it hits, it's nice, and I'll do it on occasion. The last time I remember doing it really well was a small blind to my big blind, and I had a pair of 8s, and the guy bet 2 times the big blind. And I'm like, I'd been tight, really tight, and I called, and sure as hell caught that 8 and just sat there and let him bet until he was just depleted. I just wiped him out. Okay, now, Queen 10 is not how I want to go out, but he's got a big stack. He probably knows I'm going to jam. This is just life. And that's how it goes. Brute. And we are going to fold. I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to change this out to the other tournament. Not that one, but this one. Yes. And let's see over here. Now, this guy is ongoing, 27. This is the $27 tournament. And man, we bubbled. We didn't get no money off that. But Queen 10 suited, what do? They will do that towards the end, that sort of limp thing like goading you. But what do you do when you just don't have the cards or the chips? The nice thing about it that I'm able to balance it out. I've had enough wins where I'm not like, oh man, I lost $1. It's like, no, 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 no. Like when you took first earlier, that's 4 buy-ins. You can play 4 more tournaments, or essentially you paid in $1, so you won 3. You could play 3 more tournaments. That's how you look at it. It's the slow grind of, can you beat a guy? And I've done it a few times where I'm being aggressive. And when it works, it's super nice because I think the other players at the table pick up on the fact that I'm a little bit tight. I don't like to bet unless I got it. I tend to be a little bit more conservative as a player. But when I go on a tear and it works, oh man, they see you crack a couple guys playing loose holdings and they start to back up and go, I want to avoid conflict with that guy. That's a winning strategy. Maintaining the aggression is something I have more of a problem with, because eventually people are going to stand up and start questioning your bets. And if you get somebody who just goes on tilt and starts calling shit just because, you know, he's on tilt, it's like, oof. It is really hard to beat somebody who ain't afraid of dying. That's life. I did see Lex Velduis post a video, I think through his Facebook page, talking about, it's like tournament 0, desk. No, it was like opponent 1, desk 0, something like that. And it was him playing a hand or two and just like slamming his hand down on the desk. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do that all the time. I was happy to see that I'm not the only one who gets frustrated. I hate being short stacked. Now, how do you prevent that? Because if you crack a couple guys and amass a stack, it's easier to start playing a little more loose, you know, kind of open up your range. When I'm starting out, I find it really challenging because people will just call your raises with, you know, air balls half the time. Oh, that's a nice hand. Improved. That likely may improve. However, I'm not going to find out. I don't even feel like doing anything crafty at the moment. I will go to bed tonight if I bomb on both of these. Still more money than I woke up with, which is nice because we won some. I want to check and see what is my overall position in these. And why are these things not giving me any info? Where the hell am I? Oh, there I am. There I am, 13th place. And there's still 21 left. All right, I shall fold. And this may be interesting. If I get a raise, just standard, I may call with this. I'll definitely see a limp. I'm not going to re-raise with it. You know, that re-raise is a really potent tool if I already had a stack. But the problem is I re-raise. Now, am I going to bluff having the ace? That's hard. I mean, I can do it, but, you know, it's like over here. Bottom two pair. Would I have had it? I'd probably be ahead. However, oh shit, another queen fell. Oh no, what do I do? I don't know. The other table here, I'm letting this go because I don't have an ace. Oh no, but I had another jack. I got a full house. And it's like, well, the guy had queen two offsuit and he has a higher full house now. And that's the poker stuff you got to deal with. Now, if I had jack eight and I jammed and some guy's got a queen, sometimes he's still going to bust, you know, he's still going to win because he's going to catch a full house, but I'm ahead. At least at that point. I shall check it. I shall show my aggression by checking again. I shall check even further, hoping that I river a spade, and I will see what you do. And I hit a jack. So now I'm going to, you ready guys? Down and dirty. Let's do this. There we go. Fear me. Fear me. My love for you. My love for you is like rage. Is it Raging Cock? Is that it? Raging Cock Berserker. I gotta just say making fuck. I will say this, Kevin Smith, who did Clerks. Clerks was an indie film at the time, and it was like totally mind-blowing. I'd never seen dialogue like that. In fact, some of the closest would probably be like Tarantino films later, like Pulp Fiction. But the dialogue was hilarious. And I saw Kevin Smith recently here in Austin give a presentation, and I was so taken aback. It was the most inspirational thing I have seen in years. I was like, Kevin Smith, the Silent Bob, like, I knew he had other films and stuff going on, and I never got into Chasing Amy and a lot of stuff. Dogma was pretty good, but his presentation was so positive, like inspirational. I mean, like Nelson Mandela, Neil deGrasse Tyson level, very unpretentious. I was very taken with Kevin Smith. I wouldn't have thought prior to that he'd be a role model in the world, but I think he's wonderful. Not that I didn't think he was cool before, I just didn't know as much about him. But if you get a chance to see Kevin Smith live, man, he's a really amazing guy. He makes you feel so comfortable. I even tweeted after the show something he had said where even the chef's got to eat, which was his reference to watching films as a filmmaker. And I thanked him for the show, and sure enough, he liked my tweet. Like 5 minutes after the show. I was like, who does this? And it's like, I think he, much like me in a social media sense, he knows that his fans pay the bills, so he engages with them. That's why you'll see me take not phone calls necessarily, but take stuff when I'm talking to people or text people, because I'm trying to make sure to connect with people, get them the information they need. Because one, I like my fans, and two, it does lead to sales. It allows me to lose money playing poker online to these goons who play any two cards out of position. 7-2 offsuit, you dare raise against me, sir? What do you think you're doing? I'm going to fold. But Kevin Smith, very, very taken. Kevin, if you see this, I'd love to have you on a podcast. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I'd love to give you a session if you want to have me out there in, I assume, Hollywood area, Beverly Hills. But just a wonderful gentleman. I was so taken with his eloquence of speech, but lack of pretentiousness. Just totally approachable. Just seemed like a guy you could walk up to on the street, and he completely is like, "Oh, hey, how's it going, man? You know, can I get a photo? Sure, no problem." Man, that's a funky board. When you have queens and that's the flop, that is funky. That is hard to bet on. Back to Big Me. Got to work on trimming the beard up here. Trying to figure this out. It's kind of going kind of Unabomber chic, you know. One of the only times I ever wish I had 7-2 or a pair of sevens. Pair of sevens would be nice. I'm gonna raise here. This could be the death of me, but I'm just gonna make a standard raise, even above this guy's 2 times the big blind. I don't love this hand, and I'm not gonna get inordinately attached to it. I'm actually hoping to get some action and then bust him on a huge draw heavy flop. I would like to see 6-5-4 of diamonds. That might win. The straight flush might do it. Now, it hit around my hand. Let's see here. 158. I'm willing to put this in. Let's see what happens. If I get any real pushback on this, I'm not going for it. Nice. Not calling with King 9 offsuit. It's also the benefit of not calling with a huge number of. Hey, what's going on here? You gotta refocus there, bro. Making me all fuzzy. What are you doing? Stop that. I'm just gonna standard raise this. If he jams, I would call. Am I still fuzzy? Why are you doing that? There we go. I would love to be able to develop clientele in the Hollywood area, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, and be able to go out and stay for periods of time and work on people. It'd be really nice to spread the work out west. We'll see what happens over time. Even my colleague Luke in Houston was talking about running the Time Massage Jam there, and I was very excited to be able to reach out to Houston. That'd be like a huge deal if I got a chance to do that. Really, really interesting. Love what I do, love teaching, love sharing, love working with students. There are some challenges for sure. All right, now this is problematic. We had a raise in early position. If I call with this in late position, I'm gonna likely have to pay more. I think also I want to avoid pressure from these two stacks as well. I'm gonna fold this in this instance. Here I am going to raise, however, I'm not going to go crazy. Now, this pair of 10s in particular, man, this is where you want a 10. If a 10 falls, oof, it can be brutal sometimes. He's only got 25 left, man. Ooh. Ah. So a small blind re-raise. And here's the deal. He didn't just raise a little bit. I mean, he 4-timed, the bet. Do I want to call for how much? 300 is how much of my stack? 4 times. I'm gonna let that go. I don't think that's a good call. I don't know what I bumped into there. Yep, there you go. And that's not a bad bet by him. That's similar to my jam, but that was why I did not want to call with that holding. This is again one of those things like, okay, I could draw a queen. I could draw, it's like your 4 clubs as a flush draw. Like, it's easier to just let this go and just choose a better situation. It's like battle in a war. Do you want to wait until your enemy is awake and alert, or do you wait till they're asleep? Ah, now we're talking. Do you want to? There we go. Focuses in on me a little bit. Do you want to see? Why does it do that? It's like it's got to refocus. Let's go back to the screens here. I'm going to fold. No, actually, hold on. The other table, I'm going to fold this. Let me see a cheap flop with this if they'll let me. Let me see a cheap flop. That looks like my cheap flop. Let me bet and pray that nobody limped in with a pair of kings. Ooh, callers. What's going on here? The challenge about this is, could somebody have king 8? Yes. Could they draw another 8 at the river? Yes. I'm actually going to bet a little bit this time. I want to see. Maybe they don't like it, call. Maybe they jam. I don't know. We'll see. I'm assuming I'm ahead, but who knows what I'm running into. And I did all right there. I'm going to bet this, even though I'm not in love with that hand for sure. Again, I got to make some movement. I can't just sit here completely passive, or you just get beaten the hell up. Now, the big blind often will call just to see a flop, to see if anything connects. And that definitely connected. I'm going to bet the pot. Now, could he have called queen jack? Sure. Sure he could. I'm going to limp. I'm praying that I would get a cheap flop with that. Ace 3 suited. I think I'm going to raise here since I'm in late position, but we'll see what happens there. I at least hit the 3. Now, the problem is I'm up against 2 guys. Let me bet half the pot, see what happens. I mean, if they have a queen, they're going to call. You're not afraid of flush draws. Could he have a pair of nines in call? Could he have a pair of overcards? And you were praying that you would get your ace. However, did he have Jack 10? Did he hang on because of a draw? He bet 400. I don't feel comfortable enough with my 3. I'm going to let that go. But at the other table, we have a situation, which is 530 on my pair. I'm going to let this go. I would have liked to have called that, but I felt very, very uncomfortable with that situation. And I would have lost. Later in the tournament, I might have pulled that. Might have worked. Might have definitely worked on that. Hey, focus on me. What are you doing, camera? Why you do that? That will be a fold. Come on, big stack. That's why he jammed. Ooh, look at this. Those aces might take it. That would be a fold. I've already folded. This, let's limp. Let's see what he does. If he gives any action, I'm probably just going to let it go. If he doubles, I might call. Just see flop. That's not too bad. Let me bet 150, see what he does. It's also a good flop for him to jam and say, I got 2 diamonds. And I probably let it go. He could have a queen or an ace of diamonds. In that case, I'm happy to just to pick up the blinds. Bovada, I think, goads people just a little bit by throwing that last card down, because it shows people this is, we know you let it go, but this was what would have happened if you, kind of encourages the betting. If you have ever played poker live, I've done horrible. Man, it's so, like, I'm used to clicking buttons. I play online. Having to play in person and deal with poker stacks and chips and stuff, and oh man, so I have a 10, but I don't have I just don't like it because they play queen 10, king 10, ace 10, a lot of different cards. Fucking up the chips, like moving chips in and out of the pot, the pacing is much slower. I've heard some online players talk about they don't particularly like playing in person. I think they're playing a very math heavy game based on statistics instead of playing on, I will check again, tells. And even me, just a little bit I played in person. Generally, I will say this also, I'm very proud about this. I'm a winning poker player. I have won more money playing poker than I have lost. Not a lot. It's $10 maybe, but overall it's been more. And that includes in person. I've won some tournaments. Or at least chop tournaments with a guy. We got first and second place. Okay, I'm gonna fold here. I'm gonna go back here and I'm going to check. Because I don't have nothing. I don't have queen jack. I don't have a flush. I don't know what's going on. So, on the $2 table, I am not betting 50 chips on that. Up to 10th place gets the money. And I am in 10th place. So hopefully we'll get something, as long as we don't bust out. I let go of my jack 4 over here. If it folds around to me, I might raise, though I can't say I'm inordinately happy with this. And a limper. Ooh, ugly. I'm just gonna limp from the small blind. It's such a weak position. I want to see what the flop is. Not super great for my hand. I'm just gonna check it. Maybe an ace falls at a turn. Maybe the guy isn't willing to bet. Don't mind seeing a flop with this. Here, I don't, again, feel like, now here's the thing, do I call on the button? I'm going to let this go. I don't feel like there's enough aggression going on at this table for me to deal with that right now. With this, I don't particularly have anything. I'm just going to check. If we were later in the game, I would probably play this. And I shall fold, sir. Ooh. And you go, oh my God, I would have had a straight. And it's like, yeah, but some dude's got 3, 4 of hearts, and he's waiting on that heart at the river, which he has a 1 in 4 chance of drawing, by the way. 1 in 4 chance at a turn. Ooh, now this is a little bit more interesting because I hit on this. I'm going to bet. Now, could they have Queen 10, King 10? Yes. Now, do I think he's on a draw for it? Could he also have Jack 10? Yes. This is where I've screwed up, and I may possibly lose my whole thing here, but we'll see. Because I'm surprised he called. Could he have a weak king? Could he have ace king? Ah, that's interesting. He calls time. The other table, I have Jack 10 offsuit. I'm going to fold that. Not super interested. Just let that go. Ah, you let it go. And that's going to save me a bit because that gives me something to work with. I kind of wonder what he was holding. I'm not going to call for 2 times the big blind in that position. Back over here with that Jack 10. Now I kind of wish I would have raised. There's not a lot going on over there. At this level, they love weak aces, especially in position. Oh man, they'll call with ace 2 offsuit. No problem. No problem. Yeah, that moved me in the 9th place, which is a bit better. I mean, I could have gone out right there, which meant I would bubble. I wouldn't make the money. Bubble usually I think is described as like going out 1. So like if the top 3 play, you go out in 4th place. That's a bubble. I do not like that hand. I'm gonna let it go. I didn't see the other one. It passed me by. Oh, AK. AK. Let's see. I got a limp. And what do I want to do here? We're getting to that bubble. If somebody calls me and cracks me, so be it. But I got a limper, and I'd almost prefer just to take down the... There we go. It's like, it's one of these things, like, you could play it, and I'm in position. But what if there's no ace or king? And I'm not as good sometimes about after the flop play. That will be a fold. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to call this with the expectation that I am going to fold. I already feel like I'm going to regret this, but I am going to call. I'm going to check and let the big stack bet at it. And I have a 1 in 4 chance at the turn at the river. Now, do I call for another 600 chips to try to get the flush? And am I actually ahead? And this is the problem when you're dealing with a big stack and you don't have enough of a stack to keep going. I would prefer to go ahead and let this go and see if I can choose a better position later. See how the goju, that extra king, you're like, oh. First position. Okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to limp in first position. There's still plenty of wiggle room as far as the blinds are concerned. Over here, do I want to raise because I got to go over this guy? I don't particularly like that. We're getting close to that bubble situation. I'm hoping this guy goes out. Now, I was hoping on the AK board that I actually get a raise, that someone bets. The problem is, what if nothing hits of this ace or the king? And now, am I going to continue to bet because... Well, I have AK. Well, this guy hit a 7. So what? And we made the money. However, we have a limper and we have a pair of 6s, which I will not be defending. I will go back to the other table, and here's what I'm going to do. You ready, crazy? I'm going to check. Now, how I would love to see a 10 of spades. Oh, I would love to see that. And I did not. Now, what do I have? And this is the problem with AK. AK is the hand. I think it's the most variable of any poker hand. It's the biggest trash and the biggest winner if it hits. Yep. Now, could I have kept betting on that board? Yeah, just had a 3. Oof. I'm going to fold my 2-4, regardless of what they do. Check or fold. Let's see. We are on the final table, and I'm in 7th place right now. Like I said, you don't really get into the good money to me until you get to about place 5, but we'll see what happens. There's so many people to go, and I'm getting short. I'm getting close to push fold, and I don't feel comfortable enough with that ace 5. That's where some players, I think, start to just play more aggressively because they know they can. If you push 2,000 in, these guys in later position, if you win, you're going to take half their stack almost. And that's the judgment call, like trying to figure that out. Oof. Now, over here, what do we do? I'm going to let it go. I do not feel like this is the most exciting, fun, loose, aggressive. Yeah. And, ooh, check this out. Now what? Who's ahead? You bet 2 times the big blind like you had it. That 2 times the big blind or limping doesn't give people a whole lot of information about what's going on. That's where I sometimes get confused because they play hands that I wouldn't necessarily. So I get a little confused about what they're actually holding because of the way I think. Excuse me. Nice. Like I said, when the 10s hit, man. At the final table, I got to make a move soon. Tons of this, and this is just a big stack leaning on the little stack. And if I had jammed, okay, I got a 5. Now what? I mean, you're all in, but it's like, who knows what the guy would call with. Ah, betting back at him. Little aggression in that guy. I did, in fact, fold my queen too. I hope you're not horribly disappointed in me for doing that, but I did. I did do that. I hope you don't lose faith in me, even when we bust out. Well, I say that, but I made money here. Not much, but we'll see what happens. And I can still go for a little while. The blinds aren't so big that I'm getting beaten up. These guys are going to start wiping each other out real fast. This guy's probably seeing that I'm pretty tight, 2 times a big blind. Like, he's goading people. Do you actually have something? This is what I see. Do you actually have something? Or yeah, it's like it's a weird bet size. He had someone make a small raise. I will be folding. And he apparently folded and let it go because he did not have the aces or kings that he represented. Now, I will say, final table, if I had queens up to aces, would I limp in like early position with this stack size? And I at this table, probably. I don't like, I love you, Doyle Brunson. I'm not calling with this. I love you, Doyle. I am going to raise, and if this does not work, we are shit out of luck because we will be in complete push fold territory if this does not work. We are on break. He's got a big stack. He could call. No, they let it go. Okay. That is a great way to win with King Queen offsuit, by the way. Yeah, I am in last place. I didn't even look at the board, but according to stats here, I'm in last place. And 8, again, you don't really start to make the good money to me until about place 5, which is $4.86. But if I go out an 8, guess what? I will have made 50 cents. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Big Daddy right there. 50 cents. Give me that. If I go out just like I am. Also, if I play conservatively final table because I don't have much, if I double up a couple times, oh man, I'll go on a tear, start raising out of horrible suited connectors and craziness, and people can't figure out what the hell's going on because I played conservatively the whole game, and then all of a sudden they're just like, oh my god, he keeps jamming all in. He's like making all these crazy bets. Let me see where I am on the other tournament. And I'm in 12th place over here. You only get paid up to place 5 in this case. So this is going to be a while. Excuse me. This is, where I wind up a lot is short stacked final table. You need to crack a couple guys, amass a stack, start playing aggressive, and then I find the amount of focus and concentration needed to play loose and continue to win to make good judgments after the flop. Oh man, tag is a lazy player's way. I'm gonna wait till I got premium hands, jam, raise. Loose, man, there's so many options for stuff. It's really hard. Like you have to make a lot of post-flop decisions. A lot of betting sizes and stuff. Even if they bet 2 times the big blind. Not me. The challenge is that late position limp. What does it do? It's saying I want to gamble. It's saying that I want to play this pot probably with 4 players in it. Uh-oh, at this other table, we have a moment. And let's see what happens, because if there is a prior raise, oh man, 4 big blinds is all I got left. Four big blinds is all I got left. I don't know what that guy is going to do. Going to check that. Go over here. So we got a raise and a call. Man, 4 big blinds left. Do I want to jam this in? Fuck it. Let's do this. Oh, I timed out. Okay, well, for better or worse, that didn't work out. And that's not a bad flop for that hand, but it's like that's where I start to become risk averse. And it's like that jam after the flop, I don't know what he had, but look at how, okay, and there you go. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And I was going to do it, and I would have lost over here. I mean, what do I do with this? Do I call this with a 3? No. And it's like, I wanted to, man. I wanted to, I was like, nah, you're being too conservative, Robert. You have a pair of 10s. There's a wide range of holding statistically. And I'm like, I don't know if that guy's got queens. I don't know what's going on. I love that. Oh, let's do this. Oh, wait, no. You can't do that anymore. Do not particularly like my holding and my position there. Excuse me. Now, he'd have taken a monster pot, by the way, because he would have taken all my chips in addition. That would have been massive, his queens there. And you'll notice, you see how they're all clamming up? It's like bluffing whether they got it or not, because they don't know where the guy wants to put it in. There's so much of that crap at the final table. That is also not where I'm going. Now, I'm going to go completely through the blinds. I'm just hoping that guys start wiping each other out because they're playing aggressive. I need to double up immediately, but I just haven't hit the spot to do so. And you saw how I failed us with our kings. I failed us. I could have gone out in a blaze of glory with a pair of tens. And I was going to say I wussed out. And I'm like, no, I just got timed out. I was going for it. I was being aggressive. I'm like, we're at the final table. We made money. What's the big deal? That's also the other thing about stakes. If you don't have any funds to play with, because if I lose here, you know, if I lose at this tournament, I'd lose $2. Who gives a shit? If you have thousands of dollars, it doesn't matter. Raise. We're gambling here. Let's do this. Let's see who's got the better hand. I see a lot of this in the play, and it's probably just because guys put a lot of money in and they don't care. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to grind my way up slowly from my winnings, by the way. That is not the hand I'm jamming. Now, the other thing is I'm such a small stack. A lot of these guys, too, are putting pressure because they want to keep the fear that I'm going to jam, take half somebody's stack. Like they're trying to play the board. A lot of people will clam up when somebody's got a super small stack because they're just hoping I'll go out because they want to go up in the money just like I do. And this sort of stuff, this back and forth, who's got it, this is where it's harder for me to play aggressively. And I learn over time certain holdings and certain positions. I'm going to keep watching Lex's tutorials to try to figure that out. This is a big fuck you bet. Betting it, you know, oh, I double what you bet. You put in 500, I'll put in 1,000. I'm dying to see what happens here. There we go. Ew. Ugly. I will fold here. I will go back here. I will watch them limp, double the big blind, all this shit all day long. And all these guys gang up on, it's like in rounders, they're like, it's like a school of piranhas. You don't ever see them attack each other, do you? Ah, now we see. Now we see how it is. I want to see a flop. I want to see a flop. And I fucking do not. So you guys have at it. Fight that shit out. Now, tell me of the four of you, who's ahead? Who got Jack 10? Because you got a nice hand. Oh, now he bluffed it. And little stack got to go, I don't know, does he have it? Does he have to? And it's like, you didn't have to play, bro. You could have not even been involved in this conversation. He had to pull his time so he could think about it. Think about whether he was ahead or not. This, ugh, funky. No, I don't want to sit there. I would like to fold, please. Now over here, we got a raise from the aggressive stack. I am not playing against that with that hand. I'm letting it go, which is where he starts sucking up the big blinds, putting pressure on people. Now, I'm in a very weak spot, but I only need one hand. If I double up to 2,400, now we're talking. Now, here's the deal. You get a bunch of those 600 bets, what do I do? Because I don't have anything left. So let me see if more people come in after him. If more people come in after him, I hate to say this, I'm probably going to let it go. And this may be the death of me, but the problem is the statistics get screwed up when there are more people involved in the pot. I don't mind playing ace-4 offsuit against one guy, but I don't know that I can get that to happen. And over here, I just let this go. I don't like my position nor the hand I was holding. And here's the issue. Now, this guy put it in for almost his whole stack. Now, I don't know why he didn't just jam it in. I'm going to let this go, and I'm a little disappointed at myself. I will pat myself on the back for my hyper aggression in that 10-10 that I totally botched. And there you go. Now, how do I feel right now? Now, here's a challenge. I probably had. Who got ace 10? Or ace 9? Now, on this other table, I'm going to raise this. I'm not super excited. That's half my stack, but we will see what happens, especially to a limper. And there's a flush draw on the board. Now, as a jam, it doesn't matter. I'd have been all in. Oh, we had aces. Okay. Now that makes a little bit more sense. Because that was why I was looking at it going, like, why didn't you just put it all in? Like, why didn't you play from a place of strength? And I'm like, oh, that's why. Because you wanted to think you didn't have shit. Do I get a caller? Yes, I do. Do I get this guy also calling? Yes, I do. And that is a nice flop for me. So go ahead and bet it. Or I am. Oops. Not the hand I want. Also, not the hand I want. So there's still 8 players. These guys are being aggressive. Somebody's going to mess up. The problem is I just don't have much to fight with. It's one of those things like 9-4 offsuit. The problem is, okay, got an amazing flop. Statistically, how often is it going to happen? There's only so many cards in the deck. There's only so many 9s in the deck. There's only so many 4s in the deck. That's what the problem is. There's a reason why certain cards are considered better, because they will win in comparison to other cards. I do not like it. And I got a limp from the guy. Okay, from the guy who did aces last time. I'm going to fold. I have nothing left. I'm being blinded away. These other guys are probably, to some degree, maybe avoiding confrontation because they don't want to, you know, lose money because of when I go out. But I am praying for a first position pair of aces where I jam all in and then they come at me. Now, what do I do with this? Limp, 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 check. Show no strength because you have garbage. So now who's got it? The world may never know. All right, I am exceedingly short. I am not super, I can't call with it. Okay, I'm gonna fold. This guy is likely gonna get a call. It would be my guess. I would prefer to see somebody else get wiped out if at all possible. Did they give it to him? Yes, they did. But he also had a big enough stack where he's scaring the other players. Now I'm in first position. I have a 7 and a 4. 600. I'm gonna fold. And I'm just gonna hang out. I don't like it. I hate this shit. I hate being blinded away, but if I don't have anything to fight back with, theoretically, should I jam? Sure. To get what? I had a 4 and a 7. It was worse than the last hand I had. The problem is after I go through the blinds, I've got so little in my stack, proportionately, they can take way more risk with a wider range of hands, and they've only got to win once. If it folded all the way around to me, I would jam. However, it never folds all the way around to me because you get this shit all day long. May Dolly. Do we want to do it? Fuck it. Let's do it. Come on, Dolly. May Dolly be with you. Not the flop I was looking for. Oh, now they're all afraid. Now, I would like a 9 at the river and to win this. And I did not fucking get it. There we go. Well, so much for that. We'll see what we picked up over here. What was it? $2.70. Oh yeah, baby. That's my 50 cents. Go me. Oh yes. That's right. That's who you're talking to. Big daddy over here. And we'll shut that down. And we are on break for 4 minutes. I will pause the recording. I will be back in just a minute. Oh, good Lord. I was talking that whole time and had the microphone on silent. You didn't hear a damn thing I said. Oh, well. Let's see. Minimize that. Move this up here. Let's open up this other tournament. And the other tournament, like I said, I'm going to play a little more aggressively. I want to try this out. And let's see if I can pull this guy up. There we go. Now, it doesn't mean I play every hand aggressively. I am saying that I want to practice being a little more aggressive. You're trying to make the other guys question whether you have it. Now, when a guy wants to see a flop with 7 people, these are the players that we are afraid of, because we have no goddamn clue what's going on at the table. It's also a bit more challenging to be aggressive with a full table. If you can crack a guy with a good hand, build a bit of a stack, it's a bit easier to then go on. I have to cut out that silent part because that's going to suck. You don't want to just see cards flip around with no sound. If it folds around to me, I may raise this as my duty to play aggressively. See, bunch of limpers, man. Good Lord. Do you see why I tighten up? I'm going to play aggressive, and then I'm like, nah, I can't play against these goons. I would like to see a flop with this. Oh, here he goes, just lamping on in. Let's do this. Now, I'm gonna bet back. He's afraid that I hit a 3 or something, or maybe I'm just saying I hit something because I'm saying again that I hit a 3. I'm gonna check this time to see what it is. It is in fact the flush draw. I did not show any strength. I bet at the flop and that's it. And that's what we get. Now, the challenge is, what do we fight back with? An air ball 10 high? This is a good hand to be aggressive with in late position. To get an immediate caller and then another caller. All right. Now, let's go over here. Fuck this guy. Let's see what he got. I will call that for 100. Who knows what the hell's going on over there? Oh, he had kings. Wow. I'd like to see a 10. Oh, yeah. Oh, now, do you think that guy's frustrated? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. So here's the challenge. I'm going to call this again, hoping I get a goddamn spade, which I did not. I have a complete airball on my aggression. Now, if he bets again, what do I do? And that's part of the challenge to me. I'm going to let this go completely. Over here, I'm doing pretty well. I don't want to like jam. We've already got a raise over here. I'm just going to let that go. Now, to my credit, this guy, if I remember correctly, he put 2 times in the big blind. Is that it? And I had King Jack suited, and I'm like, screw this. You know, it's a dollar table. The challenge is he didn't really represent having an amazing hand, and you've seen people bet 2 times the big blind with like just any 2 cards. Even based on the cards on the board, I wonder. All right. I would, man. So what do I do here? I'm in late position. I'm going to call. I want to see a flop. I'm hoping that this guy doesn't jam in, but we'll see what happens. We'll make judgments after the fact because I'm doing okay chip-wise. And there we get the jam. Now, he would probably jam with any ace. I'm going to call this. Oh, he busted me. Now I know how it feels. On the other table here, I am going to be very ready. Remember I talked about aggression, right? Check this out. Let's try this. So I'm in early position. Let's do this. Get out of my face. 5 times the big blind. I'm going to fold on the other table because he got his stack back. He is very happy about his straight. Ah, we got a caller. From the big blind, no less. If he had 2 spades, and we're going to see how this works out. This is aggression. Oh, we had the ace. Ah, well, that happens sometimes. That didn't work out. Do you see what my aggression got me? Fold that. And it happens, but how often does it happen? I mean, when I jammed the King Jack, I caught 2 pair. He just happened to catch his straight, right? Queen 10, it is 9 at the river, I think. Now I'm going to see. I'm in 7th position. Only the top 5 get paid. There's 10 people total. I want to go and see, are there any more 9-player tournaments? Yeah, here's another one. We're still doing fine bankroll wise, just $1. Just practicing. And I find it interesting too, he called in late position with ace queen offsuit. I feel uncomfortable calling with that because I'm afraid of running into ace king. Okay, he's either got it or he don't. If you get into the habit of push, shove, fold, push, fold, play, the problem is they'll learn that you do that and then start limping on you to get you to jam it all in because it's easier. And, okay, he made a little move at the pot here. I'm going to fold my ace-5 offsuit. Yeah, we got 5 of 9 on the other table. This is nice. But what does this guy do? Okay, I'm just going to make a standard bet. I think this looks less aggressive. And it might make him want to play back. Okay. Whereas if I jam, like he's got something. Sometimes players are more afraid in a weird way of small bets. Now, if he folds, I will probably raise again. Okay, I'm going to call and pray to God that there are 3 hearts at the flop. I'm not calling for another 800. Sorry. Not going to happen. And over here, let's open this up. There we go. And I suspect, based on his betting pattern, I suspect, yeah, he had something. Yeah. Yeah. Now, again, on this final table, I've got to get at least to like 5th position. If it folds around to me, oh, it didn't fold around to me. I'm not calling that. Remember we talked about all that aggression? This is ugly. Classic battle. Aces versus kings. And the kings won out. That was a nice spot for that guy. And I'm happy because I am 1 closer to the money. Early position ace-3, I'm probably not going to jam that. I've got about 6 big blinds. Yeah. 6 times 6 is 36. I did learn math in high school. Or middle school, or whenever the hell you learn arithmetic. I don't know. I'm going to fold my ugly 3-7 offsuit. Oh, now we're talking. Who's got it? And as the blinds go up, you got more pressure to move, more pressure to do something, because you're going to get blinded away, just like this guy over here. Suited kings, I've started to look at as a little bit stronger. It's weird, because I think of king 9 offsuit in particular is like, ugh. But like suited kings, man, come on. Raise, a call, re-raise, I'm going to fold. Picking on the big stack. Or little stack, I should say. The big stack picking on the little stack. Come on, bro. Listen. It's pretty much do or die. You got nothing left. There we go. Not bad. Took him a little pot there. And I will not be defending my 3-9. On the other table, I am not raising aggressively with my Jack-7 offsuit. And we got a first position shove, which I am not going to be calling. You're trying to give yourself the statistical edge. The challenge is, would he jam any 2 pair? Probably. Now, if it folded around to me, I would probably jam that on him, but probably so he's going to get some action over here. And I don't feel strong enough with King 9 suited unless he folds. And if he's been conservative enough that if he does anything, it would be a challenge. I'd let it go. There we go. Much better. If you get up the gumption to start raising extremely aggressively here, everybody tightens up because nobody wants to be the bubble boy. Nobody wants to be the person who goes out at the last minute without making any money. And this stuff, man, this shit drives me insane. Now, he's got a big stack, 2 times the big blind. Does he have it or doesn't he have it? It puts him in a weird position because it's like a semi-bluff, maybe? Because he could have aces. Could have a pair of 8s. But this smaller stack is going to be afraid to bet. I'm certainly not getting involved. And then now what? Okay, I'll let it go. And he takes the blinds, which is extremely lucrative if you can manage to do it. 6 big blinds. King 6 suited. I think I can hold on because of these smaller stacks over here. I think they're going to get out of here first. So I'm actually just going to leave this behind. I don't want to jam that. I'm also afraid about the other big stack right here. Not to mention, I mean, even his stack is big enough to take me out. Wow, I would have had a king high air ball. Small move at the pot. You remember I talked about being aggressive? Hadn't really happened. Yes. And that's always the thing. Does he have it? Here, I'm probably going to raise this in my ongoing pledge to be aggressive. He let it go. I'm letting that go. And they let it go so far. Now, if he jams, I will call. I can withstand the pain and anguish of losing to this. All right, that's right. Respect my raise. Nope. And here's the challenge. It's 750 now, so these two guys have like 3 big blinds, basically. I'm about to go down again. I kind of, you'd be surprised how much I've made by playing tight, letting a big stack just be aggressive and take over the board and wipe everybody else out because I go fold, fold, fold. And then when I catch something, whoa, because I'm tight, right? They tend to believe my raises, my bets. Let me tell you how much I don't like this. I hate to say that I would like to see a flop with this, but do I want to jam my entire stack in? And I will call this, and then I will check. Then I will go back to the other table and see what the hell is going on, where I will also check. And I hit a 2. Oh, glorious day. At the other table, I checked, or folded, or whatever you call it. I let them go ahead and fight it out. I will check. That is better. Now I'm probably ahead. The challenge is there's still a diamond flush draw. How much do I bet? Okay, I'm going to put the one guy all in. We're going to see what happens. It could still have a wide range. Somebody have ace 10? Sure. 38-15? Yeah, he could have limped in with anything. It also, the bet sizing, puts the other player all in, which I think affects the way he looks at the hand. There we go. That was nice. That was a funky situation that we got out of. The board helped us out, because that's probably going to help us get a little closer to the money. Now, people get aggressive about their stacks. You know, if I felt like I could play this aggressively, I might raise. I don't think I can, so I'm just going to be a little more passive, let him have it. I like this hand. Now, he bets 1,000. Does he get a caller? He does not. Okay, I'm going to bet half my stack. I'm going to raise here. I did get a call on the other table, and let's see his aces. Nice. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes they hit the ace. All the time. All the time. Oh, I did not hit. Let me just call this just to see another card. Hit an ace. That's pretty nice. Now I've got a better stack. They're likely to play more aggressively if I raise again. At the other table, I want to go ahead and bet half the pot. What did I do? There we go. Just having problems with the buttons. Now I'm going to raise again to 1,500. This looks pretty good. I'm going to bet half again, hoping that he did not hit a club draw. I will be calling his bet because he jammed. That actually helped me out because they're likely trying to avoid. They know I'm fairly conservative. The other hand I took down. I will be calling this. See how it goes. Oh. Nope, no, I hit it. Sorry. Sorry, bro. I thought I'd lost there for a second. Every once in a while, I've had this happen, like I've hit a straight or something on the board and then like not noticed. like this 4-5 or something, and I just didn't see it because of the way the cards were configured. A lot of people when they start playing will get lost and not be able to see that they hit straights or flushes. They'll seem to miss. They forget that like 5 of a suit is a flush, no matter the cards. Now we're doing much, much better. Now, in my ongoing aggression, in position, and all I did was make a standard raise. We'll see what happens. With the big stack, I'm likely going to make money on this one, which I'm super happy about. I'm really appreciative, Lex Velduus, if I'm saying your name correctly. Lex, thank you so much for the tutorials on YouTube. They've really made a huge difference to my play and the way I approach the game. I think it's going to help me long term be much more lucrative. Here's the problem. There's a straight draw and flush draws. Even though I braised this, I think it's better for me to fold. And then if we take a look at the other table and what's going on, this guy got nothing left. What's going on over here, bro? Yeah, oh well. And the other board, I would have drawn a queen there at the river, but it's like, how do you keep betting on a board with air? Like, that's the thing. I see people, I see Lex being loose and very aggressive, but I don't see him doing it with air. And the thing is, if you started playing somebody that you knew really well and you'd played against them for a long time and you knew, I can jam this, and I think based on what I've seen, they're going to let it go. But that's a different situation. I don't know as much about these players. They're completely anonymous at this stage. And again, 5th place is where you start making the money. So everybody's waiting for this guy to bubble out. Now, this will happen a lot. Like, he's already all in. I'm in first position with a big stack. A lot of people, it's a gentlemanly thing where nobody says it, but 2 or 3 people will put the minimum bet in to get a bunch of people to beat the guy, to get him out, to get to the money. Nobody ever says it. Nobody, it's like, it would be rude almost to be like, hey, let's all gang up on this guy. But it's very common. 9. Ooh, it is king. Well, we made the money on this one, and we are 2nd stack right now with 2-4, which I'm not playing. Now, let me check the math on that as well. Yeah. So first place is 972, second place is 7. Right now, I'm at 324. So making some money. It's nice. And it's only $1 tournament, so the buy-in. See what happened over here. His hand did not hit. And he's likely to go out really fast unless he doubles up. Now, do I want to start being aggressive? No, I do not. And I'm not calling but that. Let's see what happens over here. Do I want to? I will probably play this depending on what goes on ahead of me. Not a bad call. Not with a big stack. Nice. So we made it to, that is 486, which is pretty nice. I don't feel like being aggressive amongst these guys. On the other table, they did kind of limp in. I'm just going to call this. I want to see a flop. Now, I'm praying they don't have an ace. If I get any major action, I'm letting this go. That would be the major action. That is where we're going to fold and run the hell away. King X suited. I am going to check this down. I don't feel comfortable raising that. And there's a problem. So he could have a flush draw. Could he have bet like King 10? And see, there's where the issue is. Because I let him in. So I'm going to preserve my stack to fight again another day with a better holding. Maybe I should have raised, but I'm not feeling particularly aggressive because of my stack size there. Now, I wonder, somebody like Lex, I wonder if Lex saw that, like what he would think. And here's this 2 times the big blind crap again. I'm going to call from the button. and I did not hit. I'm going to check that if it comes around to me. I'm also trying to focus on this heads up table, or not heads up, but three-handed table. He bet on the other table like this. I'm going to let this go. I just don't feel like fighting with it. I just didn't hit. The 3 was hoping for another 3. Also, the 18,000 stack here is probably going to start being pretty aggressive. So I'm actually hoping he might wipe that guy out, and then I have to play him heads up. My heads up play is okay. I've had a lot of practice at it. I'm not super afraid because I've made money at this point of like going out. It's just more like risk assessment. You know, I had the king. Was I ahead? I don't know. It was hard to put the guy on a range, and I just let him limp in, which he'll probably do again. And here's the deal. You need to be able to defend your blinds. And when you're playing three-handed, there's less and less statistics to deal with. So here's the deal. There's 3 spades. I've got a 6 of spades. Do I want to keep throwing chips around when I haven't hit anything? And that's where my challenge is. And what's the flash for? You just want me to know what you got? You want me to know? I will raise this. Now, this I'll go ahead and raise. I've been pretty soft for the most part. They're probably going to be a little more concerned about me raising. And he folded it flat, letting me know that he only had king 2 offsuit. Well, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. Now, this could be dirty. Let's try this. Let's see how you respond to that. You got it. Just call. You got king 10. You're way the fuck ahead. You only got to lose once. Snap call is different. He puts time on it. He's thinking. Could he be ahead? Sure, he could be ahead. But I got to stand up at some point or he's just going to run the fuck over me. I think, but did they call it slow roll? Is that when you wait till the very end to call to beat the guy? It's considered very rude to do that. The other table, I'm folding 10-9 offsuit because I was trying to see whether this guy called or not. I want to capture that. Ah, jack and an 8. There we go. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you for letting me know, sir. It's very kind of you. Now, watch this. I'm going to raise. Horrible position with a 4-7 suited. Now, what do they think I have? And this is the thing about playing aggressively. It looks like he just raised. Like, I limped. Like, this guy, he raised. Right? Now, I'm going to fold here. And look at this. Hey, they let it go. See? Now, he doesn't know. He just saw my bet. And that's sort of part of the bet structure there. Now, at the other table, oh, this is getting interesting. We had a raise with 2,000. We had a raise. I'm on the button with Jack 9 offsuit. I went ahead and called what he did right here. I'm always skeptical of these 2 times, and I do fuck this up all the time, by the way. Now, at the other table, oh, thank you for letting me know you only had 2-3 offsuit. You know you could have bet that and I would have folded, right? Like, I'm not super aggressive. The other table, he bets 100 on this. bottom pair. I'm going to let this go. I'm focusing on the other table. I just didn't like that. Now, I sure as hell am not calling his jam with king 2 offsuit. King queen. That'll be interesting. So regardless, I make 486. Now, if he jammed, does he have the ace? Because he could. At the other table, I had a complete friggin' air ball. Yeah, thank you for letting me know you had 9-6 offsuit. That's very gentlemanly of you. Man, okay, at the other table, so Lex, what are you doing? It doesn't hit and there's this shit on the board. Like, okay, I gotta let this go. I don't know what's going on. Now, fortunately for this guy, I fold everything. They like being to my left. I've noticed that. The minimum I'm gonna make is 486, but I like 7. I like 972 even more. Limp. Yeah. Now let's see a flop with this. Oh, yeah. Do you have the ace? Are you going to bet that you have the ace? Now, the challenge is he probably knows that I might have made a move if I had an eighth. And that's what I was concerned about. He had bottom pair with a horrible kicker. Oh, another 10. That was nice. That would have been nice if he'd have gotten involved. 9 and a 2. I'm going to fold. 3 and a 5. I'm not even involved in the hand. He likes flashing, letting us know just what he's got. Any given moment. So I got double his stack, the aggressive guy. If I raise that, I don't like it. See, and this is where I get irritated because I want to play more aggressively. The challenge is I start to clam up because I'm like, statistically, he doesn't hold up extremely well. And I'm like, you're three-handed, bro. Now I feel more comfortable with this. And now if I get a friggin' raise from him, I'm going to have a little bit of decision time. Because he knows that I'm tight enough to not call. Aha. I'm hoping that will be a call. We chop it. No, I took it. All right. I was confused there. And this is it, my friends. This is it. I folded 10-2 suited on the other board. No, I checked it down. That's what I should say. I like $7 more. Jack and a 7. Now we're, about equal stack. I can start to like a little bit. The other guy was nerve-wracking. So it was aces and 10s, queen high. That's what the deal was at the other table. So I am going to bet on this, though I'm not extremely excited about it. If I get some crazy action from him, I have a judgment call to make. Especially when you're on the button, it's lucrative to raise. Now, I would be happy to see a flop with this as a complete trash hand that I will still not bet with a 3. It's 1760. I mean, he's trying to, is that a pot size bet? Yeah. See, and this is the challenge. He could be on a flush draw. I feel like I'd like to live to battle another day. And it's hard for me to be aggressive because I'm heads up on the other table. Oh, and what do? This sort of thing. I don't particularly like this, This is also, give him some blind occasionally. This is me to placate just a little bit. Like, just don't call my real raises, right? Real raises, right? Yeah. If I'm too aggressive with too loose a holding, that's where I'm giving up what I think is some of my statistical advantage. Now, I don't particularly like this, but let's see what happens. There we go. He has also sat with me this whole game, giving him blinds, folding, playing very conservatively. The only hands he's seen is, goddamn, ace queen. He just, oh my God. Now what does he do? Okay. He could have a king. He could definitely have a... I'm going to bet 800 again. It's a shitty bet. It doesn't really establish any kind of dominance. Aha! Scared him off. It's hard for me to play aggressive on the other table because I'm worried about the money from this one. I'm going to limp on this one and see how he responds. Okay, he raises. I don't particularly like my holding. Even though I'm in position, I feel like he's saying that, you know, he's going to play back against me on the flop. I would prefer just to let that one go. At this point, we're just kind of trading blinds back and forth. I will probably play this. Okay, now he bet 2,400. Okay, I'm trying to figure out my bet sizing here. All right, guys, it's about to go down. Now, he doesn't have a flush. Even if he had queen jack, I don't give a shit. I'm going to check this and let him bet to his death. Please, God, jam it in. But we severely weakened him at least. Now, I don't know if Lex would have said that was the right move. He might have wanted me to flat call that because I was so far ahead. Now, even with offsuit, let's go. Baboom! Ah, ha, ha, baboom! Yeah. Now let's play aggressive on the other screen. Because I couldn't focus on anything else. I had to get that 9. That was nice. Again, thank you so much, Lex. It helps me so much, like, understand the game. I'm a little confused about that queen thing. I think instead of re-raising, I should have just called. And then he basically might have just jammed it in. Like, I don't know. I have to think about that, but it worked out either way. I'm still trying to figure out. I've noticed that Lex, I think because he's done it so long, he's a quicker read on his feet. But it's because he's playing hundreds of thousands of hands in tournaments and understanding the sort of statistical variance involved. Now, I'm going to try to play a little more aggressively, and it doesn't matter. With just $1, we can lose this. But I would like to step it up. And this is the sort of hand, like, even if they got a queen, but you got a jack 3 suited, you 1 and 4. 1 and 4 at the turn, 1 and 4 at the river. It's funny because I don't even know what the other guy had at the final table when I had the queens. I don't know if I saw the hand. See, this 2 times the big blind. It gets so confusing to me because, you know, my table image at this point is not aggressive. I don't feel like my 7 is a great kicker. I'd prefer to let that go and wait until I was in position. Now, if I re-raise out of position, because that looks really scary to somebody who just bet 2 times the big blind. Having king 7 offsuit in this, see, they're betting 2 times. What is that? I will likely raise this. I will call in position. Oh, there's not the other two cards I wanted to see. I'm not going after that. I don't know what's going on. There's some fold equity for those guys. I'll raise this. I'm not super excited about this holding, but I'm also starting to get short for the tournament. I said I was going to play aggressively in. Now, if he folds, this guy limped. What does he got? What you got? What you got, man? Hey, it worked. Every once in a while they fold. I love catching middle pairs on the big blind and calling raises with them. And the reason is when they hit, oh man, it's like the pair. You hit a third nine on the flop, depending on what's going on, and it's like brutal. Because it doesn't show aggression to just flat call. Now, 2 times the bigger one. Watch this. This guy call? No. Screw you. Let's do this. Oh, it did have it. Give me a 9. Give me a 9. Oh, well, my team of aggression did not work. I lost. Oh man, I lost like $1.10 off that. So guys, you have a great one. Thank you for tuning in. Had a great time playing. I'll stitch this together, put some captions on it. You guys have a great night. I will talk to you very, very soon. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. I'll try to put Lex's social media stuff below. I'd appreciate if you followed him. That'd be a thanking him for working with me with those online tutorials and stuff. It's really nice. So you guys have a great night. Talk to you soon.